Today is the day that I and every Madridista has been waiting for, and that, of course, is the official presentation of one of the best players in the world, if not the best player in the world, and that, of course, is the French superstar Kylian Mbappe, the latest Real Madrid player. Today was a lifelong dream finally accomplished for him, something he's been preparing for years, and that, of course, is his presentation in front of 85,000 Madridistas in the Santiago Bernabeu. Before we get into Mbappe's big day and what's next for him before we start the season, if you're new around here, I'm Dally with Dally FC. I cover all things Real Madrid, and at the end of the video, if you enjoy the content, please hit that subscribe button. But let's get started with the video. One of my favorite traditions, of course, with any new Real Madrid player before we do the presentation is the medical. I look forward to it every single time, and that, of course, is the dorkiest picture. Here it is for Kylian, and I just love it. It's such a fun tradition for me, just because it's such an awkward photo. You're all like this and everything. They got stuff all over you, but love it. I look forward to it every single time we sign a new player, and so Endrick, I'm really looking forward to that one too. I think it's fantastic, but. Medical for Mbappe was super good. No worries about that or anything. Only thing he has bad for him right now is his broken nose, which he'll get that taken care of. We'll talk about that stuff in a little bit. But after the medical, of course, Mbappe has an official signing, which he actually already signed weeks ago. And so that's why when they could announce that he's officially a Real Madrid player, but this is kind of a formality, more a presentation than anything. But yep, here's a pic with Florentino Perez as well as Mbappe doing the signing, right? And then we get into the presentation, and I heard it was 85,000 in the Santiago Bernabeu. It was sold out immediately, free entry, which I love. I wish I could have been in Madrid to witness it. I think that would have been super fun, but unfortunately I'm stuck here in the States for that. So maybe next time we'll get out there. But yeah, 85,000 was the number that I was told. I think it was a little less than that. I'm not sure if people bought tickets and then they couldn't go or what exactly happened. But overall, I think it was a fantastic turnout. And it's really good to see people back in the Santiago Bernabeu doing these, official presentations for these players, because before they had to do it at the training ground at Valley Bebas. I can't even pronounce it, unfortunately. My Spanish is terrible. Unlike Mbappe's Spanish, which we'll talk about. But the official presentation was today. We had the rumors of Cristiano showing up. Unfortunately, no Cristiano Ronaldo today. But we did get Zinedine Zidane was there, which I think was very fitting for Mbappe, just because that was somebody, when he first went to Real Madrid at 13, they showed pictures and stuff that never showed before of Zizou talking with Mbappe when he was just a kid. And so I was really happy to see that. Plus, being a French player playing for Real Madrid, I think the connection will always be there between the two. And so that's super good to see. But yeah, I think everybody was most impressed with Mbappe and his Spanish. Now, what I talked about before, this is something that Mbappe has been getting ready for years. He's always envisioned him at that podium in front of this mic, in front of 85,000 sold out fans in the Santiago Bernabeu, speaking Spanish to them. And of course, that is what he did. And he had a very good Spanish. I think everybody, when he started speaking in Spanish, were shocked. I'm not the best person to measure my Spanish skills because I don't speak Spanish that well, if at all, really. But I guess it was like a C1 or C2 level, which is very fluent or almost fluent. And so that's really impressive too. But the thing why it's impressive, it shows his commitment to Real Madrid and kind of coming in. I think he's probably one of the only players to come out of a non-Spanish speaking country to be this fluent when he comes to Real Madrid. A lot of players come, you have Tchouameni and stuff who come and they learn Spanish. Camavinga learns Spanish. Bellingham's learning Spanish, but nobody has come and seemed as prepared as Mbappe has when Spanish wasn't their first language. And so that's very impressive from him, just because he knew this has been his dream for years to be able to speak in front of everybody at the Santiago Bernabeu and do the, uno, dos, tres, Hala Madrid, which love it. Just like Cristiano Ronaldo for that. So super happy about that. After this, they did the press conference, which I guess still he blew people away. He was speaking very fluently. I think for the most part, when he was answering questions, he was able to answer them completely in Spanish and actually didn't even have a lot of help from the translator. I think there was a couple times where he looked for help just because of the dialect or the speed somebody's asking questions. But the more he's in Spain, I would not be surprised if he's just fluent in Spanish in a year or two. But After that, he did go to the training ground. Here's a picture of him with Carlo Ancelotti. And I was a little confused because I was like, is he practicing today? You know, they sent him there. And also, I've never seen as many outfit changes as Mbappe had to do today. But yeah, him and Carlo, finally, Carlo can actually talk about Mbappe too. It's been a question that he's got asked year after year, press conference after press conference for him. And so happy that he'll finally be able to talk. But yeah, he got to, see Courtois. Brahim was there. Alaba was there. And the rest of the players right now are on vacation, just getting off the Euros, getting off of, Copa America and stuff like that. But more of them will be coming back here soon. And so what I would expect after this presentation, fantastic presentation, loved it. Super happy for Kylian. But what I would expect, moving over to preseason now, right? I don't think Mbappe is going to be making the trip to the States. I think he just finished, his season with PSG. He just finished a long Euro campaign where they made it to what is the semifinals, right, against Spain. He's been playing and playing and playing. And plus, he has that broken nose. And so he didn't give an answer when asked, hey, are you going to the preseason? What are you going to be doing? I would guess, this would be my assumption based on what he's been answering and what people have been talking about as well, and what I think. I would guess he will not be in the States for preseason, which I do think that's a little unfortunate, but I think he will join maybe at the tail end of it. And I don't think he's going to be playing in games or anything. When we look at Jude last year, Jude actually had time and he came and was ready to go. Same thing with like Arda. I think Arda got injured though in part of the way through preseason too, so Arda couldn't do a lot of things. But Jude was ready to go. Jude was rested. There was no Euros last year or anything like that. So Jude had a whole vacation, was ready to go. The thing with Mbappe, he broke his nose. And that's, I think, something that he's going to be either doing or consider doing. He's going to get some operation on it. I don't expect Mbappe to go into the season with a broken nose and to finish it and then next year get it fixed. That won't be happening. So I would expect Mbappe maybe even this week too. If anything changes, I might make a video too talking about, maybe do a little Real Madrid update talking about him if he gets his operation on his nose. But I would expect a nose operation for Mbappe to get that broken nose fixed, as well as a well-deserved vacation for him for at least 1 week or 2 weeks. And so the beginning of the preseason, don't expect Mbappe to be there at all. And maybe, hopefully, I think what he talked about, what he did mention, is he would like to be there for the Supercopa against Atalanta, which is in the middle of August. I think it's like August 13th or 14th, something like that. And that's right before the weekend when we first start the La Liga games. And so that would be the target that if we want to see Mbappe playing in that famous white kit, that's the weekend I'd be talking about. But little update. I talked about it here before, but if you want to watch the video, it's up right here. Talking about how I see Mbappe fitting into this Real Madrid squad. And the more I've been thinking about it, I actually wanted to tweak this a little. I think, before I was thinking, Vinny on the left is his first striker, and then Mbappe on the right striker. I think it's flip-flopping. The more I've been watching, when you looked at Vinny in Copa America, Vinny was playing as a primary striker, and he was going to the left, but I think that Mbappe is going to be the one starting as a striker on the left here. And so I would flip-flop those two, and that's how I think it's going to be happening. And then if we do bring in Rodrigo will be the right, but I would almost expect Vinny to be a true center forward moving forward for Real Madrid. He's going to go to the left still. It's going to be a heavy overlap over there, plus Bellingham and everything. So I think the left will continue to be a main focus, but I do expect Mbappe almost to be more of a left winger than a striker. So that's my hunch going into preseason before we start. But if anything changes, we'll be talking about it too. I think they're going to flex around a lot. Mbappe did talk a little about like his flexibility when it comes to changing positions and everything like that, and that he's completely open to it. So whatever Carlos says, he's good to do. So I will miss that Cruz will not be there to give those perfect through balls for him. I think that's going to be the one challenge and the one thing I would expect us to figure out, and it's going to be in the early couple games in August and early September. Something I think we're going to be figuring out. Is that Camavinga coming on? Is that somebody else? I'm not sure, but yeah, definitely keep it locked in with me, and we'll be talking more about that. So yeah, that's just a little recap of Mbappe's presentation today. And so if you enjoy this content and like Real Madrid, definitely hit that subscribe button. Going to be making a lot more videos soon. We have the preseason tour just about to start, so can't wait to be talking about that. But yeah, this has been Dally with Dally SC. Thank you so much for watching this video. Cheers. Hala Madrid.